Welcome to Empowering Humanity, where you can find inspiration, education, and hope for humanity. My name is Aimmee Kodachian, not Kardashian. In this holiday season, I am bringing to you amazing teacher who's going to talk about how to heal ourselves through music. And you're going to walk away with a lot of insights, powerful insights, so you could use in your life. So are you ready?
Welcome to the Empowering Humanity Show with Aimmee Kodachian, where you can find inspiration, education, healing, peace, and hope. Today's guest, Stephanie Thompson, classically trained singer-songwriter, vocal coach, and entertainment director of the Empowering Humanity TV show live events and online healing through music programs. And now, let's welcome Aimmee and her guest.
Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you, Aimmee. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure having you with us. And I know you have been working so hard to gather information and share some powerful insights with us. And I really appreciate your time, taking the time to doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a joy.
It's a joy.
Yes.
Yes. And I wanted to bring this segment, especially now, because through the holidays, we get stressed more. There's a lot of shopping to do. There is a lot of people cannot afford to buy presents to their children. And the whole holiday season, it could be stressful for adults, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be.
And that's why your topic is very important right now, to tell us how music can really help us.
Well, so they did a study on Healthline, and it was about people singing music and people listening to music. And they compared the two groups, right?
Okay.
Now, at the end of the study, the people listening to music were calmer and they felt better, but the people who sang, the antibody immunoglobulin A was secreted in their body at a higher level, which helps to fight off infection. In the body, yes, to fight off illness.
Just by singing?
Just by singing.
Wow.
And did you know that singing in groups, you know, like when you do the seventh inning stretch at a baseball game, and they say, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the park, and everyone's singing together, that actually produces a sense of connectedness amongst you. And like when you do Christmas carols, especially this time of year, to encourage people to go out and sing Christmas carols for people, you will actually feel better because you're secreting a neurotoxin called oxytocin, which makes you have a sense of well-being and lifts your spirits.
So here we go out, and I don't sing, you sing, you're the singer here. No, but here you go out and you sing, and you don't even know how that is helping you in a powerful way.
Yes.
It's helping the audience, healing the audience without even knowing it.
Absolutely, absolutely, because they're listening to your music.
And we take it for granted. We just listen to music.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
It's just Christmas carols. No, it's more
so it's
than
working through you.
that. Underneath,
Yeah,
yes, it is.
that we never
it's
think about.
scientific. Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness, what?
Yes.
And they made a study about this.
They did a study about
Okay.
it. And and they found that to be true. So also listening to music can increase your pain threshold.
Interesting.
So because it releases endorphins in you, makes you feel better, and you deal with pain better. Like they're finding that music can be just as effective, if not more so, than some medications with people post-surgery.
Wow.
Helping them
to calm down,
to alleviate the pain and all of those.
So that could be for people who's traveling and they're scared of flying?
Absolutely.
Any certain specific music or any music you like to hear?
Any music you like to hear.
Okay.
Any music that calms your system down.
So I don't need to search what will calm me down before I go to airport?
Well, you could search that and you could get like a specific type of music, but just music in general is healing.
Okay. And then maybe sing when you're going to the airport?
Yes, like sing on the way to the airport. Yes, yes.
Takes your mind off. Just doing that, I think, takes your mind off.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you started with healing through music and how you're doing it?
Well, so I was approached by my mentor and coach and the director of the show to get into empowering people through music. And it's a natural fit for me because I've spent years studying music and singing. I have a degree in music and vocal performance. I've taught voice for over 20 years. And it's a natural progression for me to go into that field and I'm not, I wouldn't call myself an expert per se, but what I do is I go and I do research. I research articles, videos, books, and I take that information that might be technically difficult for people to understand. I put it into everyday language and teach them about the healing through music.
How they could use it and everything.
How they can use it.
And you know, those articles, if I'm not a singer or songwriter, I'm not in that industry,
Yes.
I'm not going to go read an article about music. So it will be for targeting people, maybe more for who understand music, and then maybe
But that's
certain.
Yes and no. That's the thing, though. It's for everybody, and that's what I want people to understand. That you don't have to be an expert singer, you don't have to be an expert musician.
But probably I will slip. I will not read this article because I don't understand.
If you don't understand it,
yeah,
yes.
I would not.
Oh, you would not read the article that I read.
That's right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
correct.
you're taking the time to
Yes.
get into the books and everything that you are exposed to and understand and receive information from that industry that I don't get to see.
Yes,
and read.
absolutely.
And
Yes.
then yet you're bringing the best information ever. You collect which one you want to share, right?
Yes.
Which the best to share.
Yes.
That's
Then I found this article called The Conversation, and they were saying how singing, playing an instrument, and listening to music activates multiple areas of the brain almost at the same time, affecting cognition, movement, memory, emotion, and speech. Wow. So stroke victims who are having trouble speaking, like if they sing, you're elongating the vowels, it's easier for them to sing the words.
So they could sing more than they could speak.
Yes, and Alzheimer patients who have difficulty tracking down memories can listen to music or sing, and it triggers memories that they forgot they had.
So they could sing a song, but they can speak a sentence without, you know.
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Well, that's why they say music is universal, right? It's universal language.
Yes.
And everybody can maybe receive it. Sometimes I listen to songs that I don't understand what they're saying.
Yes.
It's a different language, but I
Yes.
just love the music.
Yes.
I just love the voices coming through and how I'm hearing the song, not understanding what they're saying.
Yes.
It's affecting me in somewhere.
It is. It's affecting you in your body. You know, you're absorbing
You're
it.
enjoying listening to
You're
this
unconsciously
music.
absorbing it. And they're doing a neurologic music therapy now called rhythmic entrainment, where it activates the brain and teaches the brain to unconsciously move to the beat of a music. So patients with Parkinson's disease that have like a freeze in their movements, it helps reduce the freezing in the movements when they're walking as
my
they walk
goodness.
to the music. So
it's
fascinating.
fascinating.
It is.
One time you told me about somebody had a child, have autism, and
Yes.
you told them about. Can you tell
Yes,
us about
so
that?
I was telling a friend of mine whose child has autistic tendencies that music is going to reach an autistic child in a way that words will not reach them. And one of my friends who has an autistic child says her son loves music. He just thrives on music. And that's where they can feel like they can communicate, because the music activates that area of the brain that maybe not normally be activated, you know, and it's phenomenal, the
I think
results.
you suggested for her to use the music. for her son.
I did.
And then she came
The
back and
music
thanked you. I
therapy,
remember
yes.
you telling me that.
Yes. And I actually had an interesting experience. You know, early on in my career, I volunteered at some convalescent homes, and I did a Memorial Day concert one time. And I didn't think anything of it. You know, I was just singing patriotic songs, right, doing my thing. And afterwards, one of the caretakers came up to me and she was like bawling. And I said, you know, is everything okay? She's like, oh yes. She said, you're just, I couldn't believe it. She said, there's a gentleman here, an older gentleman. Ever since he's come here to this place, he has not spoken a word. Not a word to anyone.
Wow.
Not to his family, not to the people at the place, no one.
Wow.
But he was singing along and mouthing the words to the songs, the patriotic songs that I was singing.
Oh, moved him emotionally.
It moved him.
So it's kind of like activate something in your emotion. And you know, sometimes when I hear certain music, I remember that particular song. It happened when I came to United States.
Yes.
And then it just trickles something in me, and I just feel those moments back.
Like you had that powerful moment when you had that idea to write your book and you were listening to Celine Dion.
Yes.
And you love Celine Dion.
Yes, and she
Because
just
she
triggers
brings,
me.
yes, she triggers you.
Yeah,
Yes.
somehow.
Yes.
It's that's a different language that we don't pay attention to. We pay attention to enjoy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's all. We're enjoying this music, but
Yes.
not in the way that you're explaining. And I think the reason I chose you to do this because no one else qualify more than you do. I mean, you know about music. You've been singing since you're 3 years old
yeah.
with your father,
Yeah.
and then you've been singing all these years, volunteering and all that. So now, when you're talking about all this, you're remembering the story how he cried, she cried, I think,
She
right?
cried, yeah.
How she cried and how that affected her.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
And
So you're
that-
putting those two together now. Is like,
Yes,
wow, for
yes.
so many years I missed that.
Yes.
The meaning of singing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't think when you're up there just performing that you're actually helping heal people, but you are.
Wow.
You absolutely are.
They're very powerful. So you don't need to be a singer to sing, right?
You do not need to be a singer to sing.
Like
no.
me, I sing in the shower.
Singing in the shower is very healing.
Is it?
It is very healing.
Wow.
Yes, because you're by yourself, and there's no judgment, and you can just let it rip, and you don't have to worry about anyone hearing.
Yeah,
You know?
I would never sing with audience. I know that much. I do not want somebody to hear my voice.
Well, think about it. You know, when you are listening to music, like when you're working out, when you just work out and there's no music, it's kind of like the drag,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But when you listen to music, it jazzes
Motivates
you up. It
yeah.
motivates you, inspires you to go longer.
Kind of activates your sensors, right? To get up
Yes,
and do more.
because
and
it's
want more.
releasing those endorphins.
But we don't think of it.
We don't think about it
Here
that
you
way,
go.
but yeah.
It's just great to remind us about that.
Yes.
So many simple things in life, we don't think about it.
Yes.
It happens to us, whether negative or positive.
Right.
We don't really sit and think about, oh, this is making me negative, this is making me positive.
Right.
But it's just amazing. Well, I know you teach vocal, you teach adult and children. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's inspire you teaching that, how you feel about it.
Well, I teach children and adults, and I really enjoy the one-on-one time with people because I get to know their personality and I get to interact
hear.
with them. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
You know, taking classes online and watching videos on vocal classes is really good.
Yeah, you have one.
I have one, and
Yeah.
I recommend it. You know, I think it's very helpful. But nothing replaces that one-on-one flowing of energy between the coach and the student.
And tell me why
that
it's,
happens.
if you wanted to go professionally, right? Obviously.
If you wanted to sing professionally,
Professional.
yeah.
This is obviously not to sing
Yes.
at the shower.
Yeah,
At the
not to
shower.
sing in the shower. So you need to have someone on with their ear on you, and you need to have them target what kind of voice you have. And they need to find out, they need to build a relationship with you. You want to have a vocal coach that you feel comfortable with, that you feel comfortable building a relationship with, because it's very personal, our voice. You cannot get more personal than that. And you want to have someone who really has your best interests at heart and gives you confidence and makes you feel better and makes you excel, tells you the truth, but in a way that makes you grow and educates you, not brings you down.
So what happens if you don't have the right coach?
If you don't have the right coach, well, having a great voice lesson can make your whole week. I mean, when I have a coach that I work with and they give me a great voice lesson and I really feel like I've excelled and really come far, it just brings me to another level. And when you don't have that joy when you're working with someone.
Yeah, what happened when you don't have that? When the person says something?
When you don't have that.
Can you give us an example?
Yes, so I'll give you an example. I had a voice teacher several years ago. I went to her with a song, and I was singing opera at the time. I was concentrating on classical and opera, but I always liked singing other music. Like, I always had in my heart to sing. I was drawn to other music besides opera and classical music. So I went to her one time with, I think it was a Gershwin song. It was kind of a classic song. And I sang it for her, and I said, you know, I'd like to do more of stuff like this.
You want to explore?
Yes, exactly. And she said, no one's going to listen to you sing like that. She said, no one is going to listen to your voice like that. If you want to get anywhere with singing, you need to sing opera and classical music. That crushed me because I didn't have the self-confidence to sit there and go, wait a minute, no, she's speaking her truth, not my truth. You know, she was just coming, and I have compassion for her now, looking back at it. You know, I used to be so upset about it, but now, you know, you've helped me really come to an awareness that she was speaking from her own experience.
Yeah.
And she wasn't.
That's all she knew.
That's all she knew.
She doesn't know anything else.
She didn't know any different.
Because she doesn't know how to take you from opera to this.
Yes.
She's like, no, stay where you are. You're good here.
Stay in your lane. Yeah. Why?
She
if
didn't
it's
mean
not
to put
broke,
you
don't
down.
fix it. You
Yeah.
know. So it wasn't until several years later when I came across this magnificent woman in her seminar.
Oops.
I wonder who that was. I came across you, and I remember I got to know you better through your seminar, and I read your book cover to cover, and I asked you to coach me. And then one day I said, I want you to hear what I do. I want you to hear me sing. And I sang for you, and you just really took me under your wing from that day on and just really helped me in my career and my life so much. And then, you know, you heard me sing one day and you said, you know, you have a natural voice. Why don't you sing your natural voice? You know, you don't need to sing something special or
you
different.
Don't like, I mean, you liked the opera,
It
but
was,
you
it
wanted
was
to
okay, but it
experience
wasn't
something different.
Yeah, I wanted to explore.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I just started crying, and it activated something in me. And I was like, okay, you know, she believes in me. I have someone who believes in me that I could do this. And then when you came to me that day and you had that vision of having a song for your story, for your book, for your message for that little girl, and we wrote that song together, which, you know, I wasn't even a songwriter at that point. So, you know, the fact that you asked me was such an honor because I was looking for people to write songs for me.
I just
then.
felt it. I knew it. It's you.
You just
I told
had
you,
a
I don't
feeling.
care if you write music or not. It's you. You're supposed to help me with that.
Yes, and you get these messages from me, and it's amazing. And then when we wrote the song, it was like in a pop kind of way. And it was totally natural for me to sing it like that. And I loved it. And that's when I started transitioning and saying, and I had some really good coaches at the time vocal coaches who were, who taught classical music. One of them taught opera and classical music, and the other one taught more contemporary stuff. And together we worked together. and I started making the transition into singing more pop, inspirational pop music. And I never thought
You
I
never
could
stopped writing after that.
And yes, and then after we wrote The Rise Above together, I started writing
You emailed
songs.
me. I wrote another song, but what a beautiful song you wrote.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate your songs.
Thank you.
And they came from your truth. It
Yes.
just, you were speaking your truth from every single song you wrote.
Yes.
Really. One of them is Christmas, the Christmas song, The
Blessing of Christmas,
Are you
yes.
going to let us hear that?
I am, and I just want the audience to know that Aimmee got the message that I should write a Christmas song. She called me in November one year, September, November, and she said, I think you need to write a Christmas song. I'm getting this message that you need to write a Christmas song. I'm
Now, I don't get messages for everybody, but,
Yeah, but you seem
I
to
just
get 'em from
felt
me,
it that she
yes.
needs to write a Christmas song, and you wrote it the next day.
I wrote it the next day, and I was like, how does she do that?
What a beautiful song. You have over 50,000 on YouTube now, and it's just a beautiful song. So we can't wait to hear it.
What is it about Christmas that inspires? Is it cups of sweet hot cocoa or the long nights by the fire? The gorgeous colored packages under decorated trees, and the colored lights and pretty bows are beautiful to see. Are the silver bells and Santa Claus why Christmas is so dear? No, there's something more that makes the season bright when it appears. It's the love that you feel in the air. It's the difference in our attitudes. It's the joy when people care. It's the meeting of good friends and the stories told of old. It's the baby in the manger and the magic that unfolds. That miracle of life that as we give, we do receive. And the hope of all the children as they once again believe. It's the blessing of Christmas. What is it about Christmas time that changes people's hearts? Is it horse-drawn sleighs and shopping days in fancy modern marts? Is it traveling to exotic places to leave it all behind? Or is there something in this season we have yet to find? Is it all the tasty foods we eat that make a difference too? Or is there something bigger that's in store for me and you? It's the love that you feel in the air. It's the difference in our attitudes. It's the joy when people care. It's the meeting of good friends and the stories told of old. It's the baby in the manger and the magic that unfolds. That miracle of life that as we give, we do receive. And the hope of all the children as they once again believe. It's the blessing of Christmas. It's the blessing of Christmas. It's the blessing of Christmas time.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Stephanie and what she has to offer. You can always go to empoweringhumanitystv.com to learn more how you can improve your life through just listening to music. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Until next time, stay safe and take care of yourself.
If you would like to be part of the studio audience or would like to be involved, please visit empoweringhumanitytv.com. Sponsored by The Negotiator Mind, shifts your perspective on life. Red Valley Media Group, EasyWay.tv, and the Women's Federation for World Peace at WFWP.us.